Hello, beautiful people. It's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video from the Whatever podcast. Let's check it out.
What?
You think you should fear your parents?
I think fear has a lot of meanings to different people. I think it's the kind and like what it does to your body.
It's like very evasive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For me, I myself was in a unhealthy situation with my upbringing. It was not great, so I had so much therapy, and like I myself rebelled, I would say. And
But do you think a child should fear their parents?
Honestly, no. I mean, I feel like you should.
And this
look
is the
up to your
feminine versus the
parents.
masculine approach, right?
Yeah.
I feared my dad. I feared the consequences of it. I loved him and still do. Love him to death. Great
the
man.
shit out of my dad.
Yeah, great man. But I was terrified if I fucked up that my old man was going to just lay into me, and he would.
Yeah.
Right? And so you know what I didn't do? I didn't fuck up. That's why I have a clean criminal record, right? That's why I've never been to jail. That's why I've never really had any of these substance abuse issues. None of that, right?
Yeah, I think it's also like important because I think boys should honestly have a masculine figure in the
So
household.
should girls.
I agree, yeah. And like for me, my mom never had boyfriends. Or,
Chris donated $200. My Asian parents were hard on me as a kid. I was resentful growing up. I am now a physician and make $100K a month and am grateful for the lessons they taught me. You are not mature enough yet, realize this.
Yo, Chris, thank you so much for the TTS, man. I don't know, is this directed at you if you want to do a response or?
That's cool, but I don't really want to be a physician.
Okay.
Or like,
You were saying, do you recall?
I have ADHD, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So I was saying like,
what it was?
I think that it is definitely a feminine approach to not want to like fear your guardian or whatever. But like Andrew gave a really example because in his case, I'm assuming from what I've heard, I don't know him that well, that his father did it in a way that really brought him up and like enforced being a good kid or something like
His
that.
father would kick his ass if he messed up.
Yeah, you know. In my case, it was like my mom has mental health issues and she would act out of turn and say if I left a dish in the sink, well, suddenly things are being thrown at me. So it was like for me, I was in a constant state of fear, not in like oh, I'm scared.
Sure, but I'm
like
not talking
in a-
about fear in the sense that like you're fearing for your safety just for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fear in the sense of fear of consequences.
I think that should be a thing. I think that it's important to have a parental role with someone who you respect enough to adhere to their lessons and
And which of the parents
regulations.
do you think is more likely to instill the fear of consequences?
So I'm not the best person for this because I never had
It's
a
a
father
pretty
figure.
simple question. Which parent do you think is more likely to instill a fear of consequences? Mother or the father?
For me, it was my mother. I didn't have any example of a father, no boyfriends, nothing. So I
Right,
don't
so
know.
traditionally, do you think that it's the father's job to instill consequences when the
Traditionally.
children act badly?
Yeah, traditionally, yeah.
Yeah.
You see this, part of it is the fact that the society itself have completely grown really soft in the way parents train their kids or take care of their kids. And we get it that some parents don't want to repeat the exact same thing that they experience as kids or as children or during their time as well. But at the same time, with everything that we see in the society today, I think parents as a whole have really gone really soft on their kids, in the sense that we now have lots of dysfunctional kids, lots of people do things and don't even mind the consequences, because growing up, lots of us know the consequences of doing some certain things or some certain actions, because you know you will not want to misbehave and let your parents find out, let alone let your dad find out. You know the consequences, you know what is going to happen. So lots of people respected their father, feared their father, and it was for a good cause, because obviously when they grew up, they realized that, oh yeah, this part or this aspect shaping them. So they also in their adult life knows that there are some consequences to some actions. And now some kids, even some adults now, based on the fact that society itself has told lots of parents to go really soft on kids, so now some people don't even mind the consequences. Some people don't even care about the consequences no more, because of course they can do some things and get away with, because nobody cares, nobody was there to train them, and they were not told about some certain consequences of some certain actions. And also, so in terms of some parents that we see today, some parents are still kids. We get lots of kids trying to raise kids, or lots of kids who are in the guise of parents trying to raise kids. And also there are some kids who, or children, or some grown adults who practically raise themselves. So some of them don't even know or not taught some consequences at the same some consequences to some certain actions. But at the same time, we are in desperate need of father figures in the society, in the home, because apart from parents as well, there are some communities or some places that you know you're not going to misbehave. You don't even want your neighbor or people that live close to you to even hear or find out or see you misbehaving, because you know what's going to be waiting for you back home or waiting for you at home. Because if your neighbor doesn't tell on you, somebody obviously that is close to your parents is going to tell on you. So that fear of whatever that was going to be done to you at home made people to like kind of prepare ahead for the future, and also remember that to every action there is a consequences. But now people don't even mind, and now some people believe like they don't really care, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, and that is the problem. So we really need to bring back fatherly figure or fathers in the home.
So that's a healthy fear to have.
Yeah, if it's executed like that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And I'd say for girls and boys, just the same. But today, in this sort of hyper feminine world that we live in, the mother's parenting tactic is seen as the best parenting tactic.
Who says that?
Well, I think that just in general these days, when it comes to parenting, we see a lot of, put them in the corner and then tell them that you love them, and then that's the way that you discipline a child. But the father's parental tactic is very different to that. The father's parental tactic isn't, oh, I love you so much and you messed up. The father's parental tactic is, you fucked up, here's the consequences. That's it.
Yeah, I think teamwork is really crucial in regular households because there are same-sex couples and stuff. I think it's like valuable because both genders add different insights to the relationship and different people take on different kinds of roles. And I think that like traditionally, the man of the household does generally have that portion of responsibility.
Yep. And you think that's just as important as the loving and caring aspect of it?
Yeah, it's yin and yang, as long as it's done in a way that like is healthy to that family dynamic.
Did you have a father figure who you feared consequences from?
The thing is, my dad wanted me aborted, so he kind of dipped the moment my mom didn't get the abortion.
So you didn't have a father figure that you feared consequences of?
None. I only had my mom, and she was very intense. I still love her. We're on good terms, but
yeah, lots of the times when single mother households will produce this sort of thing.
Yeah, there's hella studies on it. Yeah.
I think obviously it's better to have both parents because you do need, having a mom is a crucial role. Like growing up, my dad was extremely hard and strict, and he was a disciplinary. So I feared my dad growing up if I did something wrong. But I knew I could go to my mom's room and lay with her, and she'd, scratch my head, and I had that balance. I think in this case, she didn't have that balance, and her dad probably took the disciplinary actions too far, as we learned. And so she didn't have that. She didn't have the mom role there. And
on
so
that occasion where he tied her up, that was definitely an occasion where he took it too far.
And I'm sure that's not the only one.
But kicking her out, and you said you went to school drunk when you were 15. It seems like we said, there was a series of actions that led up to that consequence.
But do you not think that might...
And that's the anger and the resentment that came out because of it.
You don't think that might be like an outcome of how I was disciplined
perhaps
too hard?
The thing is, like, that's all we have to go on, right? Yeah. It's like what you say. But what I've noticed with let's just call it the female machine, right? The female machine seems to operate on feel bad for me, feel sympathy for me, nothing I've ever done, I need to be accountable. Hang on, let me finish, and then you can respond, right? Feel bad for me, nothing's my fault, I've never done anything wrong, all of this I have an excuse for. Look, here's my excuse, let me pinpoint this excuse. This is what I hear kind of time and time and time again. It's really interesting. So I would just ask this: out of all of you who are here who are making pornographic content, right? Is this really just like fuck dad? He's a piece of shit, and I'm going to go show my vagina on the internet to teach him a lesson? Is that is that what it's about?
No, I tried to not do it for like a year while I was in school, and it was really hard doing what was it, like 40 hours a week of school, 10-hour days, and then 2 days of the week doing 8 hours. So I had 1 day off a week.
Yeah.
And then I'd be
that's pretty
falling
common.
asleep in school, and like that's not good when I'm cutting hair. It's not just studying, like I'm dyeing people's hair and cutting people's hair. I don't want to mess that up. So then I finally went back on OnlyFans, and then
I mean, sure,
can
but you're
actually,
hardly
like,
the only person who's ever gone through cosmetology school. This is not a rough school to go through, right? My wife's a cosmetologist. It's not a hard thing to go through. It's not like this master level difficulty of just, you know.
What
and
school did she go
somehow she was able to get all the way through cosmetology
What
school
school?
while
Do you know?
taking care of her grandmother. Well, I'm not going to name the school because I'm not going to dox any of
yeah.
that, but yeah, she went through cosmetology school while taking care of somebody who was invalid in her family. She never had to sell her vagina online, right? These things are not necessary prerequisites. In other words, like you being tired in school, you working 40 hours a week, like, okay, yeah, that's normal. That's normal, right? Most people don't revert to selling themselves in
Because
order
I
to
already
compensate
did
for that. Right.
saw them, so I was like, well, they're already
Sure.
out there, so why don't I just go back?
That I understand.
And
I
then it
understand the
gives me-
motivation of money. I want money.
Yeah, and then it gives me the free time to put my time and effort into things that I actually want to do, like, hey, get clients, do hair, I throw events, I DJ and make music, like and I paint, like I do a lot of things, but I just want to have the free time to put my time into things that I want to use to grow my future. I don't know.
So
It seems like she's desperately trying to make up excuses as to the reason why she's doing whatever she's doing. And obviously, this is the exact same thing we keep saying, because obviously some people don't even mind the consequences, don't think of the consequences, so think of the after effects, because obviously they were not told about some certain consequences growing up, and some people were allowed to get away with things or don't mind the consequences. Nobody freaking cares, just because you can do whatever you want to do. Fine, you can do whatever you want to do, but remember that to every action there are some consequences, and remember to face their consequences, and don't come and feel like the world is turning against you. The society we live in today, women are not being held accountable, and you hardly hold a woman accountable, because women are not supposed to be held accountable. They are supposed to do what they want to do free will. Remember, my body, my choice. They're supposed to do whatever they want to do freely. And then when the consequences hit, then you have to always support the woman. She shouldn't be held accountable. You shouldn't put the blame on her. It's always somebody else's fault or someone else's fault, which I don't remember the last time. Remember how we got here in the society, because if we eventually, that's why we need men. Because obviously, with men are very logical and not emotional. They are logical. So you remember when you were doing this with your eyes wide open. Remember that there are consequences to every action. So obviously, you were doing this, or you remember, or you liked it. So remember to also face the consequences, and don't feel like, or don't think like the society is doing you harm for holding you accountable. But obviously, like we said or discussed in the beginning part of the video, this is the more reason why we need men in the society. Masculine men in the society are not masculine women. And also why we also need fathers at home, taking care of their children, disciplining their children, and also putting them or teaching them the right way and the right path to go. Do you think if we have more fathers at home, the society will be as chaotic as it is, or as we are seeing now? No, of course, it wouldn't be. But I mean, give women what they want, and this is where it goes. That's the reason why we don't need woman as a president, nor do we need a woman as a prime minister. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I really love to share that. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.